Right now, through the month of November, it is National Diabetes Awareness Month. Now, the CDC says over 38 million Americans have diabetes in some way, and that's about 1 in every 10 people. Now, joining this morning is Chris and Sarah, who are with UPHS. You guys are experts when it comes to understanding and educating about diabetes. So, jumping right in, Chris, let's break down type 1 to type 2, and what's the difference?
Sure. Type 1 diabetes is basically where your pancreas is not going to make any insulin. Your body needs insulin so it can feed your cells the energy from the food that you eat. Type 2, Sarah?
Type 2 is a metabolic disorder. It's caused by many external factors. It causes insulin resistance, and it affects pretty much every body system.
Now, Chris, when it comes to type 1, what are some of the symptoms and signs of type 1 diabetes?
So you're going to notice that you start drinking a lot, you're going to start eating a lot, you're going to feel tired, and eventually you're going to start going to the bathroom a lot, have some weight loss to the point where it can get actually dangerous, where you could actually slip into a coma if not treated.
And so you mentioned that when we were talking earlier, there was a little bit of that. There's a very specific and very pungent smell with the urine that is caused by that. What is the reason for that?
So your insulin opens up your cells, like I mentioned earlier. Well, without insulin, that sugar's just hanging around in your body. So it's got to get out somewhere. So while you're peeing, you're essentially peeing out that sugar, which causes this awful smell.
And then, Sarah, for type 2 diabetes, what are some of the reasons why that's so different from type 1, and how does it impact the body?
So type 2 diabetes, like I said, is a metabolic disorder. So it's a dysfunction of breaking down carbs, fats, proteins, and it causes insulin resistance. So the difference between the two is where our pancreas is still making insulin, but our body is just not receptive and our cells are not open to be able to be using it. I always tell my patients that insulin is like a taxi cab. All of our cells require energy for function, and they get that energy from glucose. And insulin's job is to grab the glucose and take it to our cells. But if our body's unable to use it, then our blood glucoses are high. It causes and it affects our heart, it affects our kidneys, and over time we can damage our pancreas and then also become insulin dependent.
Are there ways with type 2 diabetes to combat some of this dysfunction outside of just insulin?
Absolutely. So early detection and knowing your risk factors. Type 2 diabetes is a silent disease, and it's become an epidemic. How prevalent it is, especially in rural areas, because of our lack of access for health care. So just knowing your risk factors, getting your routine checks, having a primary care provider is super important on being able to know if you have that risk coming up.
Well, we're going to keep this conversation rolling. We have a little bit more to break down because not only is it National Diabetes Awareness Month, but it's also World Diabetes Day. So we'll be breaking down a little bit more about information and some of that diabetes care. But stick around because Jennifer will have your weather after the break.